My pre-90 thoughts on Gunbreaker, every single one of them turned out to be right. Before the expansion came out, my biggest concerns were that Gunbreaker was going to remain clunky. For those of you ass hurt that I call Gunbreaker awful to play, let me also say this. I have a lot of fun with this job, but I cannot get past the fundamentally bad design of this job. This job at a very basic role is meant to tank. Yes, it is meant to tank. Now, do I believe that it started off as a tank, like in development? No, I think it actually started off as a DPS. So to tank, what does that actually mean? That means to receive incoming damage and move the boss and pop defensive cooldowns. Basically, this job, it conflicts with two of those responsibilities. It conflicts with moving the boss and it conflicts with popping defensive cooldowns. The design of Gunbreaker goes against what it wants to do. See this shit that I'm about to do? See this? Yeah, this is awesome, dude. All this weaving and shit, man, this is awesome. Okay? I am with you. However, when you have any type of responsibility, all of this fun goes away and it becomes obnoxious and extremely clunky. Now, unlike some people, I'm able to separate what I find fun with what I think is like good for the job. So like, let's say that you're dumb like me. So I'll explain it in cheeseburger terms. We all love a Big Mac, all right? But we all know that a Big Mac will kill us if we eat too many of them. It will give us a fucking heart attack. It's gonna clog our arteries. It's gonna make us feel like shit, okay? You don't wanna be on the McDick diet, okay? Big Macs go against what your body wants. With all of that being said, if you can't agree with me that continuation is clunky, then you are literally stupid. You have no comprehension of tanking, of mitigation, of what clunky is or anything. Continuation being clunky is not subjective. That's just a fact. It is clunky. And the reason why it's clunky is because continuation prevents you from double weaving cooldowns. It prevents you from moving the boss as effectively as you could. Or in some cases, it prevents you from moving the boss at all. Because in some cases, you have to pop 2 fucking damaging off GCDs. If you're not doing that, then you suck ass at Gunbreaker and your opinion doesn't matter. Okay? I do not suck ass at Gunbreaker. I don't. I'm pretty fucking good at it, actually. And when you have to move the boss during those times, it is extremely fucking obnoxious, okay? But is it fun? Yes. It is very fun. However, like I said earlier, I'm able to separate what I find fun with what I think is good for the fucking job. And I think that the changes that they made to Gunbreaker are horrible. I think they're awful. The only good changes that they made are actually the defensive options. I really like the second stack of Aurora, and I really like, dude, Heart of Corundum is fucking insane, and the buff to Bowlight was fucking crazy. Plus, you can do this cool shit where you pop that and you pop this and it insta-pops your fucking... Dude, it's nice. I think it's funny that Gunbreaker has like more off GCDs than a fucking Reaper. Well, I don't know. My Reaper's not max level yet, so maybe you get a bunch of crazy off GCDs. I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, so the changes to the job, double down is bad. Continuation on Burst Strike is bad. The 3 cartridges doesn't really make any sense. The 3 cartridges are purely here because they wanted double down to cost 2 cartridges. Basically, I think that the changes that they made to this job weren't fully tested. I also don't like the burst window either. I don't like that Gnashing Fang is now less damage in a burst strike continuation. That makes your burst windows awkward because by increasing the number of GCDs inside of your No Mercy burst, but not increasing No Mercy, they fucked up. So now you can't even get your whole burst in under No Mercy during a Bloodfest No Mercy window, which is really bad. I think that's bad design too. Basically, I think that what Gunbreaker received was kind of shit, actually. For a majority of the time, you're just building up your burst. So like every 60 seconds you burst, and then for the next 60 seconds, you're just building up to the burst. You're literally spamming 1, 2, 3 with an ammo combo in between. I don't know, man. I feel like the changes that they just made it a lot more clunky. It's also more punishing when you die too. It's way more punishing when you die because now when you die, you're 3 cartridges down instead of 2. And this move costs 2. So when you die on Gunbreaker, you just want to log out the game. You'd rather sit in queue than get up and take the res. I talked about the bad things. I just want to explain again that I do find this job very fun. I do really enjoy this job, but I just feel like as a tank, it goes against what a tank is trying to do. And that includes moving the boss and popping your defensives. You could say some stupid shit like this, which people probably already say, just pre-pop your cooldowns. Yeah, well, one of the best cooldowns that you have, if not the best cooldown, you fucking can't pre-pop. You can't. So don't give me that shit where just pre-pop it forehead. Well, you kind of can't, because Heart of Corundum, to get the most effective use of this, you need to use this within 4 seconds of the tank buster. You know, you only have 4 seconds of 30%, so you want to use that extra 15%. Basically, Heart of Corundum goes against continuation. This job would be so much better without this fucking move, or if they were to rework it like I suggested. But you know what? People like it. It's fine. It's fine. You can like it. You can not think it's clunky. You're wrong on that aspect, because continuation is clunky. It's forced. It's restrictive. Double down doesn't make any sense in its rotation. It just, like, basically all of the DPS elements that Gunbreaker got, I really don't like. It's not very intuitive. You can't even fit all of your burst inside of No Mercy. And again, like I said, man, if you look at the potency, right? 360 versus 380. And then both of these, this is 180 and Jugular Rip's 180. So it's only a 20 potency difference. It's not like huge, right? But again, that's not the point. It's not the point that it's only 20 potency. It's just, if it doesn't bother you that it wasn't tested, that they don't care, like they released this and they just didn't care. They didn't give a shit. If that doesn't bother you, then I don't know what to say. But it bothers me because I care about this job. I really like it. If it doesn't bother you, then I probably like this job and enjoy playing it more than you because it bothers me. It just clearly wasn't play tested. Like they didn't think about this. So that's the downsides of Gunbreaker. The super good things that Gunbreaker got are Bolide. Bolide's now 10 fucking seconds for whatever reason. I guess 8 wasn't long enough. You know what it was, dude? The devs are so stupid that they think Living Dead is really good. And because Living Dead lasts 20 seconds, right? They were like, well, we can just buff Bolide to 10. It's still half as good, right? So that's why they did it. And for some reason, they buffed the living fuck out of Heart of Stone. I don't know why you would ever want to use TBN over Heart of Corundum. This is fucking nuts. This is crazy good. This is so good, man. And like I said earlier, you can fucking proc this. You know, you can, like, look at that. 19k crit heal on a free ability that also gives me 30% mitigation. Like, get the fuck out of here. Gunbreaker defensively is very powerful. It's also very good offensively. It's a really good tank, but I do not like its playstyle. I think the playstyle is extremely clunky. It's just broken. It just wasn't tested. And to me, you know, it's very obvious that it wasn't tested. But with a simple change of increasing No Mercy to 25 seconds and maybe nerfing, like, I don't know, I mean, I'm not a numbers guy, man, but you'd have to nerf like maybe a potency here and there, maybe a little bit, but increase this by 5 seconds and everything would be fine. The burst window at least would be fine, because then you could fit everything in. One of the stupidest things that they could have done was actually add continuation to Burst Strike, because Burst Strike is supposed to be like your finisher, the very last move you use inside of your burst, because it doesn't have any off GCDs. But now that it does have an off GCD tied to it, unless you manipulate your GCDs in some weird fucky way, your No Mercy isn't going to affect your continuation, your hyper velocity. That's just bad design. It just wasn't tested. So now you have a choice. You either use this as your last GCD, which it'll miss raid buffs, but it'll keep your No Mercy. Depending on the comp, it's better to miss like 1 raid buff and keep this, or sometimes you might not have any raid buffs, you know? I mean, that's kind of rare now, but I mean, you could have like White Mage, Astro, Samurai, Double Machinist, Black Mage, you know, like, I mean, it's possible. And then it doesn't fucking matter, you know? That's another thing too, is that you used to be able to move the boss with Burst Strike because it didn't have continuation, but now you can't do that. If I were to, I guess, rate Gunbreaker, I think defensively, Gunbreaker is super strong. I think it is awesome. It's one of my favorite tanks defensively. It's so fucking good, man. Offensively, it does a shit ton of damage too. I think the good definitely outweighs the bad. It's just, the bad is pretty bad to me. Now, obviously, some people are going to disagree with that, and that's fine. What someone finds fun is, you know, what you find fun. But I do not find fun a clunky, not tested DPS rotation. I think it's pretty obnoxious, actually. The playstyle of Gunbreaker, I'm not a fan of, but I love it defensively. And I hope that they at least increase No Mercy's duration so that you can at least burst properly. Because right now, you can't even fit all of your GCDs in your burst window. The reason why is because they increased the number of GCDs inside of your No Mercy window, but they didn't increase the No Mercy duration. Does defense even matter when all tanks can beat all content? Absolutely, because your healers will love you if you will save them GCDs. Yeah, but that's what I think about Gunbreaker. Overall, love it defensively. Find it fun, but obnoxious offensively.